Hey folks, this is Big Timmy, and I'm cooking some egg pie for you this morning. Y'all stay tuned. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you? Big Timmy's cooking for you. Hey folks, Big Timmy back. Hey, we're gonna go over some basic ingredients that we need this morning for my famous egg pie. So we need a couple potatoes, red potatoes preferred. Also some of that good old Jimmy Dean maple sausage. This is some good stuff, folks. You gotta try it. Just a few eggs, a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and then all kinds of goodness spices to go with it. Y'all stay tuned. Hey folks, Big Timmy here. We're going to start with our sausage this morning. Before we get started with our sausage, I've actually preheated to 350 on my oven. We're actually going to start with the sausage this morning. I've got this good old Jimmy Dean goodness maple. If you haven't tried it, try it. Here's a little trick for you for sausage. All you have to do is cut the very end off. And that's it, folks. All you gotta do is squeeze it in the pan. Alright, here's Big Timmy's tip of the day for sausage. Cut the end off, and all you gotta do is squeeze it out. Don't have to cut it, don't have to get your hands all greasy. Just squeeze it out, let it fall in the pan. Get all that goodness out. And then the secret weapon, Grandma's potato smasher. But it works great for sausage. So get that goodness squished up, and it will be a sizzling. Alright, with our sausage in the pan sizzling, now we're going to start on our potatoes. We are red potatoes today, and we're going to slice them up. We're going to leave most of the skin on, so I just kind of slice off some of these bad spots. Not really anything. What I'm really doing is checking for some of these bad spots, cutting anything off that don't look just right. Oops, there's like a spot like that right there. Just cut it on off. Make sure you leave some of that skin on. Alright, that looks good enough there. Get this little potato jewel here going. Let's see what we got here. Alright, potatoes look pretty good. And then for the secret weapon, we got the Slicer-Matic 2000 here, folks. But beware, these sharp edges will bring a finger off, so y'all watch out. So all we do is just take the potato in its own thin slice. Go ahead and slice them up real thin. See how easy this is? Slicer-Matic 2000. You gotta kind of watch it here at the end. Don't want to get a finger. So I kind of leave a little bit. But see how goodness? Look at those thin potatoes, folks. Look at that. Paper thin. That's the key. And we got our next little potato. look at all this goodness. Potatoes. Alright, there's a little bit of moisture content, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to dry these a little bit. We're not going to put them in any water, but what we are going to do is pat them dry. Just going to take a regular old paper towel, lay them out in a way. All I'm wanting to do is just kind of lay them out, nothing real fancy here. But what this does is get some of that water content out, because we're going to actually cook these. This is going to be our base for our egg pie. So this is one of those all-in-one dishes. Get up on a weekend, your wife's still in the bed sleeping, and you want to surprise her, make her an egg pie. Now I'm just kind of laying them out. Now I actually want to put a little seasoning on these. So I'm going to use the old seasonal. Can't go wrong with seasonal. So I'm just going to lightly dust the potatoes with a little bit of seasonal. I actually forgot to do the other side, but that's alright. Get another paper towel here. Just lay these taters out. What we're trying to do is get a little of that water content out of them. What that does is it makes them cook more evenly. Get a little bit of that water content out of it, because we're actually going to bake these for just a minute. And then we're going to go down the egg pie trail. Just like that, folks. I'm almost done. This takes a little bit, but if you notice, it goes pretty quick. Just kind of lay these potatoes out. A little bit more seasoning. And got just a few more little potatoes. Don't really want to waste another. Kind of sprinkle them here. A little magic dust. What I do, take another paper towel and smush them down. Want to get some of that moisture content out of them. And usually this will get enough moisture content when you put it in your pan. It's not so wet. And it's kind of pressing down some of those spices. And that should be good enough. Alright, we're just going to take a regular old pie pan. Trust-o-matic here. But it's perfect for egg pie. And all we do is layer it with potatoes. Nothing fancy, we just want to layer it. Kind of build up these sides with some of these bigger potatoes. What that does is it has a even coating of potatoes. So basically it's making a potato pie crust in a way. And just keep layering it on. Nothing really fancy here, folks. Just want to use all your potatoes, kind of put them on the sides and on the bottom. Kind of get that even look to it. It's already looking nice. Your wife will be impressed with Big Timmy's cooking. Alright, we're almost done here. We just got just a little bit more. And it's already looking like a pie. Like a little pie. That's why I call it an egg pie. But it's actually got a little sausage in it. It's got some egg, some spices, and a little bit of that Big Timmy magic. Go ahead and dust these just a little bit since I forgot to dust that with that seasonal. Alright, looking good. We're almost done here, folks. Big Timmy's egg pie is on the way. Alright, ain't that pretty, folks? Just like a pie. That's why it's Big Timmy's egg pie. Alright, we're going to take and put this and brown it just a little bit. Alright, after we get our pie potatoes layered, it looks like this. It's goodness, folks. It looks just like a pie, and that's why I call it Big Timmy's not apple pie, egg pie. Alright, so before we put this in the oven, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take a little butter. I took and melted some butter in the microwave. This was probably about 3 pads of butter. I'm going to take my little whisk here, whisk it around, my little brush. Just wanted to kind of touch it a little bit. What this does is it makes the potatoes brown a little better, and it softens the texture. It's not so bad, but it'll actually make these potatoes crisp up just a tad when it's in the oven. And nothing fancy here, folks. You just kind of give it a good brushing. And once we got that brushed all around, we want to put this in the oven. Usually I put this in the oven for around 10-15 minutes at the most. I continuously check it. As soon as I see it get a little brown, I take it out. Don't really want to overcook it. I just want to brown it just a tad. What this does is it makes the potatoes just a little softer, and whenever I cut it, it's yum yum. So let's go ahead and put this in the oven, folks. And I got it on 350. Let that sit for just a minute. And then while that's cooking, go ahead and get back to the sausage. Use that grandma's potato smasher. Smash that sausage up real good and fine. I could just use a spoon, but this potato masher makes short work of it. Just kind of brown it up just a little bit. What this does is chops it up real fine. You don't really want to have no big chunks in your egg pie. See how it just kind of flakes it up? Don't have to really overwork it. Alright, let that cook for just a little bit longer. While that's finishing off, we're gonna start the egg mixture. It's simple, folks. It's basically some eggs scrambled up with a little bit of spices, and it's good. Trust me, this is Big Timmy, and you're watching Big Timmy's cooking. Alright, with our sausage going, our potatoes in the oven, now we're getting ready to mix up our egg mixture, and this is actually a mixture that's going to go on top. So what I did is I took 5 eggs, Went ahead and put them in a bowl. I'm going to do a little whisk on them. And this is where the magic happens, folks. I'm going to take a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to put about that much, just a splash, nothing real fancy, just a little splash. Take a little bit of mustard. Just want to do just a little dash in there. That's about good enough. Also, just to season it up just even more, a little bit of garlic powder, and just kind of sprinkle about that much. And then finish it off with just a little bit of salt and pepper. That should be just enough to season, nothing overpowering. Just give it a good whisk here. And that's it, just a quick whisk. And we'll be making the egg pie. We're putting it together, folks. Right now we got the egg going, the sausage is done, and we're fixing to pull out that potato pie, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now it's time to put the egg pie together. We got our sausage cooked, we got our eggs beaten, and we're gonna take our potato mixture out of the oven. Ooh, look at that, folks. See that crispy? A little butter in there. Alright, so what we're going to do is put this together. I've actually took and strained my sausage. I'm just going to crumble it in. And I have washed my hands, folks. I just like to use what I got. Kind of crumble it around. Get all that goodness in there. Just kind of even it out. Looks like a lot in here, but it makes that good old egg pie. Alright, so I got that evenly spread. And then for one last ingredient, folks. Minced onions. I could use a regular onion, but I'd have to saute it. So I'm going to cheat today to use a little bit of onion, minced onion. I'm just going to do a little sprinkling. Not really overpowering. Just a little enough to get a little flavor in it. And that should be about enough. And then what I'm going to do is top it off with a little bit of cheese. I like to use a little bit of triple cheddar. It's a mixture of cheese, and then also I like to use a little sharp cheddar. Gives it a little bite. So first of all, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this cheese mixture on here. I like this creamy milk because it melts so good. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on. Not really a lot of overpowering cheese. Don't really want to have that gooey, but I do want some gooiness. But just a light sprinkling, just enough to cover it, just about like that. Now I'm going to take and finish it off with my sharp cheddar and just sprinkle it on too, and kind of just evenly coat that sharp cheddar, get it all around the edge, because this right here will bake down into the sausage. And this right here should be about good enough, just a sprinkling here on top. Just make sure you got all your sausage covered. I think there's just a little bit more over here. Just like that, folks. Ain't it looking pretty? It's Big Timmy's egg pie. And it's gonna be so good. Alright, we're almost done. And take my egg mixture that I mixed up earlier, give it one final whisk, and what I want to do is just sprinkle it over the eggs. Let that egg just sprinkle in. Just let it ooze right down to the bottom. And don't have to be perfect, just enough to get it coated. I'm trying to get it all around where there's eggs that would be evenly spread throughout the egg pie. And that should be about it. Alright. Ain't it pretty, folks? Look at this. It's a masterpiece. I'm not even a chef, and I can do it. I'm Big Timmy, and you're watching Big Timmy's Cooking. Hey, I'm Big Timmy, and here's another tip for you. I usually like to wash my dishes when I've got my pie cooking. So what I do is I do have a dishwasher, but I like to wash my pans and my utensils. What that does is it just makes sure that I get all that goodness off that pan. So what this is, folks, the tip of the day is a happy wife, a happy life. And that's Big Timmy's quick tip of the day. Y'all stay tuned. Alright, back at you, folks. We've got our egg pie cooking. It's been currently cooking for 25 minutes on 350. And let's see if it's done. Oh yeah, it's done. Let's go ahead and take this out. Ooh, look at that goodness. Big Timmy's egg pie. Alright, folks, we're going to let this cool for at least 10 minutes, and we're going to take and slice it and put it on a plate, and we're going to try this goodness. So stay tuned, folks. This is Big Timmy's egg pie. Alright, folks, the final reveal. We've let our egg pie rest for about 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and slice this and plate it. So I'm going to take my fancy pie cutter. I'm just going to cut it on up. Cut it just like a pie. And Big Timmy likes these big slices, so quarter it up. We're fixing to put it on a plate. Look at that. Looking good. Let's go ahead and try that. Look at these layers. Got your cheese, your sausage, your egg, got your little potato. That's some ooey gooey goodness. And let's go ahead and take us a little bite here, folks. Egg pie, easy. Make you want to do the egg pie slide. That's right, folks. This is some good stuff. It's quick and easy. It'll make your wife happy. She'll be really impressed if you make this dish for her, especially before she gets up and you surprise her with Big Timmy's egg pie. If you like these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe and ring my dinner bell. And this has been Big Timmy's Cooking. And y'all come back now, you hear?